Welcome to Learning to Mod Minecraft, a father-daughter retrospective.
First, I'd like to thank our sponsors, all the people out in the hallway there. They kind of helped put this on, so thanks to them. All right, so my name is Kevin. I'm the father. I'm a senior software architect. So I've got like 20 plus years of experience in developing software. I went to school, learned computer science in college. I went to graduate school, learned software engineering. So I've spent a lot of years learning how to program and learning about software.
All right, I'm Audra. I'm the daughter. I'm a junior high student, and I'm a first-time coder. And I'm enrolled in the honors curriculum at my school.
So you might ask yourself, well, what's a retrospective? That might be like a new term to you or a new word you hadn't heard, or maybe not one you use every day. And that's a software development process, and there's goals when you do that. And part of it is you want to learn from experience, and you want to build on the things that work, and you want to gain some perspective after you do stuff, and you want to decide afterwards what would you do differently. And our talk is kind of going to cover those things as our journey through learning to mod through Minecraft, and come back and share that with you so that you have that same information.
On the other hand, everybody knows what this is. Who loves Minecraft? Me! Okay. Minecraft is a very popular game. In January of this year, over 1 million people were playing Minecraft at the same time. And with 10,000 ticket sales, 2015 Minecon, which was held in July, earned a Guinness World Record for the largest convention for a single video game.
They actually built the entire country of Denmark in Minecraft. They took a lot of the topographical or geographic data from the country, and they ran it through a program, and they built Denmark in Minecraft, and it had 4 trillion bricks. Now that would have taken a long time to build by hand. But one thing they didn't do in Minecraft is actually put it in HD.
So a mod or modification is the alteration of content from a video game in order to make it operate in a manner different from its original version. In other words, just changing the game to do stuff. This is a picture of the Dragon Mounts mod, which is a mod that we enjoy and play with frequently. It was created by Barracuda ATA. It includes 7 different varieties of dragons that can be tamed and ridden by players. And there's 3 different kinds of dragons here. So how do I get started? Creeper.
Yes, it is a creeper. That looks like me, right?
Yeah.
So LearnToMod, it's some software. It teaches you how to code by teaching you how to mod Minecraft. And this is something that became available in January of this year. I had read about it last year. It was something that was going to be like $30 a year. So I thought that seems kind of interesting to try out. When you get their software, this is what they say about themselves. They're online and interactive. You mod Minecraft in your browser. There's tutorials and puzzles. You unlock badges. You learn to code. There's a couple parts of it that were interesting. There's the modding studio. That's where you actually make your mods. There's a private server, so you make your mods, and then you go connect to a server, and then you see your mods. And then there's a bunch of different types of lessons to help you through the process. So that was one thing I liked about it is you don't have to install anything. You already have Minecraft. You already maybe connect to servers. This lets you learn to mod just by doing those same things and using a web browser. You can learn to mod. One of the options is the JavaScript programming language, and that's probably the most popular programming language out there. And a lot of that is because JavaScript is the language that people use to build websites, and it's the language of the web. So there's a lot of people that know how to code it. There's a lot of information on JavaScript as a language. However, something that was unique about LearnToMod is you could also code with something called blocks. And they say you can learn to mod Minecraft without typing. And you can learn the coding concepts without the syntax errors. You don't have to worry about typing things wrong. And they say this is every bit as powerful as JavaScript, but it's easier to use. Now, LearnToMod uses something called Google Blockly. It's a web-based visual programming editor. Users drag and drop blocks, and they snap together. It's similar to other things like Scratch, and there's other these drag and drop programming languages, and they're really easy to use. So they don't require a whole bunch of typing.
So we used Hour of Code to prepare ourselves for using LearnToMod. And this uses Blockly, also like LearnToMod. There are short video clips that they'll show you by like Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg to help teach terminology like loops, conditionals, parameters, and algorithms. And it was fairly simple. It took me probably less than 20 minutes. And Angry Birds, Scrat, and Plants vs. Zombies characters are also featured.
So this is another one of the software development terms. It's called pair programming. It's a technique where two programmers work as a pair together on one workstation, or they work on the same computer. So one's the driver, they write the code, while the other, the observer or the pointer or the navigator, they kind of review the code as it's being typed in or put in the system.
So I was the driver and Kevin was the observer. And when learning a new concept like parameters or using the drone, it was really helpful having him advising me and correcting mistakes that I made. But later into the program, he wasn't really needed and took naps or played games while I did all the coding by myself.
Moving on.
This is an example from the Hour of Code course. You use the blocks to direct the bird to the pig and then press run to see your code in action. You can also view the actual JavaScript code when you're done with the level.
Did you have a question?
Oh,
Oh, okay.
no, actually, I have done our code.
Oh, okay.
And here's a similar example from Hour of Code featuring Scrat as he tries to get to his acorn. And when you're done, you get this fancy certificate that you can put on your fridge. This is the intro course. One thing is you need to make sure you sign into Hour of Code so you get credit for it when you start the intro course, because we had to end up redoing the Hour of Code so that the intro course would recognize that we had completed it. And this 20-hour course introduces students to computer science and programming. And there are 10 stages that feature the artist and the farmer. And then there are also 10 unplugged activities that are more intended for a classroom environment. So we skipped over those. And so this ended up only taking us a few hours. And here's an example from the intro course. And this example comes from the artist. And then these were fun because it let you create your own drawing after you completed the stage. And then you get another certificate of completion for the intro course.
Now your fridge is looking pretty full.
Okay, so my comments on this was I was able to learn and become familiar with the types of blocks used in the program. And then in my opinion, the bug fixing problems were the easiest because I could just scan the code and see what was wrong. I also learned how to read the blocks and know what they would accomplish. And I thought it was fun to draw pictures using the artist and being able to create something.
All right, so Audrey was learning how to program with Hour of Code. I needed to learn something too. I didn't really know anything about Minecraft, so I had to borrow this set of books from my other daughters so I could actually learn something about Minecraft. And I had to get on Minecraft and play around and do some stuff and figure out how to move and fly and all that stuff. So that was the learning that I had done. And I'll tell you what I learned about Minecraft. So this is me in the corner there, see? And I was playing Minecraft, and then in my Minecraft I built a world, right? And I went in the world and then I built this really awesome looking house. Okay, isn't that a special?
Villagers!
I thought this was an awesome house.
Then I go into Minecraft, I made the world, and I built this house.
Wow.
Good job, Audrey.
Wow.
You beat your dad.
You're
Now-
look
In
like
my
a
opinion, you
kiwi.
beat your dad.
I don't know that I think my house very much anymore. So I decide I'm going to go visit Audrey in her house. Because Minecraft you can play by yourself, but you can also play in the LAN, and you can visit each other's
Local servers.
computers.
The local
on
area
the-
network.
Local area network, that's right. So we did that. So I came over to Audra's house in the LAN. So those are two ways to do Minecraft, either in your own world or sharing on the LAN. Then another way you can do Minecraft is here's Audra and I both connecting to our Minecraft, and we're connecting to a server. And a lot of times servers have a lot more people, and they've got much bigger and much more exciting worlds. So that's another way that Minecraft works, kind of in a server mode. Okay, so that's something I learned. Now, here was something that confused me, because I had all these blocks of stone and I could hold them all in my pocket, and I would have thought they would have been pretty heavy to walk around with. with so many like big blocks of stone in my pocket because it seemed like that was pretty awesome. So I saw this comic which says that your inventory, your pocket is 10 times greater than the core of the sun.
32 stacks of 64 cubic meters of cobblestone in inventory. Pocket is 10,000 times denser than the floor.
Yeah, so that was pretty exciting. I thought, wow, you can hold a lot in your pocket.
That was fun.
Then I decided to see if I could, since I'm a programmer, I was going to get some books on programming. And here's a book I got that said you could write your own Minecraft plugins, no previous programming experience necessary. And this was a book that ended up using the Java programming language. And I had been a Java programmer before, so this was easy for me. This particular book used programming against something called CanaryMod. And CanaryMod was a way that you could mod a Minecraft server. And it had an API. And what an API is just the way you program against Minecraft. It's an application programming interface. And it had some other features as well. So I had done that. Then I got another book, which I kind of like better. In fact, I even have a copy of this book. I brought my copy of that book if anyone wants to kind of see what it looks like later. This was a program that was for anyone who wants to learn how to modify Minecraft. And again, no programming experience necessary. And this one is more aimed at kids who have played Minecraft. And this uses JS or JavaScript, a different programming language. Kind of an under the covers, this uses something called Scriptcraft, which is actually a mod written in Java that lets you use JavaScript. But the interesting thing about Scriptcraft is it made modding easier because that's what adds the drone. And the drone is the thing you create and you move it forward and left and right and back and drop blocks. And that's what lets you build buildings and roads and villages. So the drone became a concept that Scriptcraft added. So now, because I'm a software architect, I always draw pictures with color and arrows for my job. It's kind of like kindergarten, except for you get paid more. So I got a picture here that I'm drawing. Here's Minecraft, right? Bringing everything back together. This might be a little boring, but that's okay. So you have Minecraft, and then you've got a whole bunch of these things you add to Minecraft to make a mod. And remember, a mod and modifications. If you want to write a mod, they wrap Minecraft in something, and it gives you a mod API. Okay? And then mods are usually plugged into the top of this, kind of like puzzle pieces, and you write them in Java. So Java is one of the programming languages. Scriptcraft lets you write in JavaScript. So you see this yellow up at the top. Now the JavaScript is there, and it plugs into Scriptcraft. So you don't have to write in Java. You can write in JavaScript, which is easier. And then lastly, LearnToMod lets you write in Blockly, which is even more easy. And the Blockly turns into JavaScript, which goes into Scriptcraft, which is written in Java, which goes to the mod API, which goes to Minecraft. So that's the way it comes all the way down. You know, most people don't care, but because I like to dig in and learn stuff, that's what I wanted to share. So probably the most important thing is that Java and JavaScript are different. Okay, they're both programming languages. They kind of sound the same, but they're different. So if you kind of see some books on them, that's what you might want to know.
And for a while, I thought he was talking about Java the Hutt, but it turns out that Java and Java are also different.
God.
All right, so my first mod, to set up, I went to the LearnToMod website. I then placed 4 blocks together, clicked mod, and then sent the message "Hello World" to my player in Minecraft.
So I did a first mod. So first I had to download the Java development kit and make sure I got the right version and the right number of bits for my system. Then I had to download and install my favorite Java IDE and figure out how to set that up. Then I had to download CanaryMod and run that. Then I had to set up a Minecraft server. Then I had to write a bunch of code and see if I could compile it and put it in the right directory. And I had a lot of steps to do, and I had to write all this code. And I got Hello World sent to my player. So,
Do hers.
you choose which one you would rather do.
I'm doing Audra's. Kevin's.
So, you can pick. There's a lot of choices.
I think I'll take
So a
Audra's.
step-by-step video is one of the ways that LearnToMod kind of sets you through the steps of learning each mod. And this video shows you exactly which blocks to use, where they're found, and where you're going to put them. Below it also has pictures of what the code will look like when it's completed. So we use that to check our code at the end, and if there was a mistake that we hadn't caught, then we could find what was wrong. And sometimes the video was too slow for me, so I just copied the code that they already had. But this also kind of felt like I was just mirroring it and not really learning what the code is actually doing. So you should probably actually follow the video, even if it's kind of slow. The scramble was another of the ways that LearnToMod uses. And all of the blocks necessary to make the code are there already, but they're all just mixed up and disconnected. So I usually like to organize them to see where everything was. You don't have to do this, but I liked it. Anyway, we then took the example mod that was supplied for us and then used it in the world to see what it would do. Then we returned to the blocks and arranged them to make the mod that we just saw. It was also quite easy to guess where the blocks would be, but this was also advised against, so you actually learn and are not just using trial and error. The last way is the missing badges, and these gave us most of the code, but you had to run the mod and then see what it would do, and then finish filling in the pieces to complete the mod. You can kind of see here where the missing parts were. Alright, so for coding badges, the badges are broken up into different groups, and they all just taught different concepts, like functions or conditionals or variables. And so one learning badge, one scramble badge, and one missing badge were the ideal amount of badges for each lesson, but some added extra to hold us back. We also had come back later and more badges had been added. And then some parts had more badges than what were really needed to understand the concept, but to finish the section you had to complete those. An example of this was the Build a Zoo section. There were 4 badges for creating a pig enclosure, just adding one thing each time, like a shelter or a haystack or water hole. But we'd rather it was all just contained in like one badge instead of 4 separate ones to save time, because it got boring to kind of repeat the same code over and over again just to add one small thing. Another thing that we learned on multiple occasions is that order really matters. So at the top of the screen, as you can see here, progress through the badge was shown with a percentage, like 93 or 100%. And if you were almost complete, it would give you a hint about what you got wrong, like a block would flash if you had it in the wrong place or the wrong value. But we noticed that even if your mod would work the way that you had it set up, if it's not the same way that LearnToMod had it, then it was not considered complete. So in this example, all we did was switch the set A to the value of 1 and set D to new drone blocks. And the code would have worked the exact same, but the difference of these blocks being switched was a 93% or 100% complete. And one of the mods that we did was how to create a hollow cube. I ended up deciding to make a bigger version, but it was a little too drastic with my measurements, and a 50 by 50 by 50 cube ended up freezing the entire world for a few minutes. And what the mod does is that it creates the entire 50 by 50 by 50 cube, and then creates a slightly smaller version, a cube of air, inside that replaces all of the cobble with an air block. And so it makes it hollow. So since this was a very slow process, my large cube took a really long time.
Can you build inside the cube when it finishes?
Yeah, you can break into it and then go inside this world there.
Why did we keep going to ground? That one wasn't there.
Oh.
So it turns out that there was also a /fill command the entire time that with the hollow parameter just does the exact same thing. And it takes way less time to do.
All right, here we have an example of the mod that we were looking at earlier, the Blockly mod on the left, and I've got some red arrows coming across. So when you write a mod with Blockly programming language, down in the corner there's a little JS, and you can click on that, and then you can see the JavaScript code that Blockly code turns into, which is interesting for a couple of reasons. One, you can see how JavaScript works compared to Blockly, so you can learn about JavaScript. 2, you can actually copy that code and then go ahead and then make a mod from that code if you decided, I want to write the mod in JavaScript. Right now, though, you can't go change the JavaScript and then come back and do the Blockly. So if you copy the JavaScript, you have to put it into a new mod. But this was pretty interesting to kind of let you bridge. You can start with Blockly and then go to JavaScript and let you share and use the stuff you learned. And in these mods you saw we like created a, the hollow cube had a block of air in it. So across these different programming languages, in Blockly, air is this pink block that you drag in and you snap in. In the JavaScript, it had the word material.air, and that's how you refer to air as a block. That was another name for it. With the fill command, it was Minecraft:air, so yet a third name for air, depending on where you're at. And then under in kind of the Java code, air has got a block ID of 0. So it's also known by 0 probably inside the game where you don't really use it. So here's 4 different names for air being a block. But like the most confusing thing to me was air was a block. Because I wouldn't have thought that air would have been a block, so it was like mind blowing. You just watched this before.
His mind's blown.
Yeah.
So we made a Frozone mod, which whenever the player moves, a trail of snow is left behind. We started out with a player move badge that left a trail of gold blocks behind the player. Yeah, kind of like a snow golem. As you move. And we changed it so snow is left behind instead. So then this is a video of us creating the block of code.
I don't see anything happening.
Or not.
This is a very cool mod.
It's a very cool mod. It just like pops out of nothing. What's happening?
The video is not playing here. Go back and go forward. And play again.
This is a very cool mod.
Yes.
It just pops out of nothing.
Huh?
It just pops out of nothing.
Yeah, I am. Actually, that one is it? Okay. Plan B.
So you want to do it? Okay, there it
We're going to do it from here then. So here, we're building this mod. We pull a function out, we call it ice trail because we're going to have a trail of ice behind us. Then we're going to the miscellaneous area and we're going to create a local item. And that's a variable. We're going to go ahead and rename that variable. We're going to call it D. It's going to be for a new drone. So we're going to go up to drone. We're going to go grab new drone and we're going to like snap that in place there. And we're going to come down to the drone section again. And there's one called move drone in direction. So we're going to drop that in there, but we're going to come and instead of direction up, we're going to go backward because we want the drone to go behind us because that's where the snow is going to be. So just kind of one block behind us. Then we're going to take this drone, we're going to go, we want to place a block of type because now where the drone is I can put a block. We come down here and we find snow. Okay? Put the snow in there. Now we're going to create a new function, and we're going to call it main, because all of our mods seem to have a main function. And when the main function runs, we're going to events here, and there's a function, there's a block here that says do function blank when blank happens. So we want to have the ice trail function happen. So we go over here and we grab function, and that's a drop-down list, but it's already got ice trail in it. So we want the ice trail function to run. Whenever some sort of event happens. Here's a drop-down list, and we're going to do player move. Okay? We'll kind of line these up there, and then
does it come up when you're done?
Yeah, we'll have a video of what happens later. We click mod when we're done, and then it says modding, and then it gives us how we can run the mod. We can either run the mod by typing a command, or we can go to our inventory, go to our mod chest, and right-click it here. So again, this mod, whenever you move, a drone goes behind you and it creates a block of snow. So that's what it took to do that. this one runs. Either.
Awesome, nothing.
Yes, I know.
Maybe there's no internet in here. Maybe the internet isn't working. Was that real on the internet?
No, we didn't record it. Okay, so here we are walking through the air.
You're walking in air.
Yeah, so I'm walking in the air. Doesn't do anything, you'll see. And now I'm going to run my Frozone mod function. And now as you see it running, look what's happening.
No.
Ice. Oh no, there's ice above the clouds.
Whoa, that means
Do you want to jump?
stop flying.
Jump.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll back up.
What happens if you stop flying? Can you stay there? You can stand on it. That's cool.
Yep, so now we'll run around some more, create some more,
Jump.
turn around. You can see where all the snow is.
Let's go.
Cool.
So that's
Does
pretty.
it come with you when you go?
All right, now we turn around and we admire our trail of snow.
You actually did that, right?
Yeah.
Another of the magic mods that we created was the sheep shooter wand. And this projected sheep out of our hand at a double velocity. This also caused us to cover the world in a lot of sheep while we were having fun with this mod.
We'll try it. Hopefully this video works. And none of the videos like to work, so look at that.
Did you see that?
It worked. A sheep shot out on the screen.
All right.
There we go.
There we go.
Okay. We're in the air, shooting some sheep. Although when they land, they kind of aren't really surviving very well.
That's awesome. You're the sheep exterminator.
Oh,
Oh
They
my
really
god.
fly around, don't they? So that was pretty fun.
Oh my gosh.
and then they don't die.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
They all die. You have to do it on the ground, I think.
That's awesome.
All right, so that happened. Now, aren't sheep cuddly? Doesn't everyone have like plush sleep sheep? Huh?
No.
Really? No, just me.
I do. You can make plushies. You can make plushy sheep out of cotton balls and.
So our problem was that after the sheep shooter mod, we had way too many sheep in our world. Our solution was the fire sheep mod.
That's awesome.
This mod has a main function, like every mod that we make. It sets the sheep variable to find all of the sheep entities within the range of 10 blocks of the player. And then I is the loop variable that loops over the sheep, and this creates an explosion. So this won't destroy any blocks, but it sets a fire at the location of I, which is the sheep, and then explodes all of the sheep.
It doesn't explode. Whoa!
Does it blow
we
you
even
up?
try it here.
Can I see it? Can I see it? Can I
Does
see
it
it?
blow?
Can
Does
I
it
see
blow
it?
you up?
Well, we were flying over it, so.
The what if you're on the ground?
All right. We need some sheep again. So we're filling up this lake with some sheep. Because they don't like smash when they put them in water. All right. So that's a lot of sheep.
Sheep.
Now we're gonna get ready.
Awesome.
Of course, now everything's on fire, so we had to make it rain with some toggle downfall because to put out our burning world.
Well, how'd you do that?
No, then it goes back.
How'd you make the rain?
It rains.
So we did slash toggle downfall to make it rain.
Slash toggle. Is there a way to make it stop?
Yeah, you do slash toggle down fall again, and then it'll just switch between them.
As you can see here, our previous attempts at this mod burned down this part of the forest.
I see that.
Yeah, I kind of ruined the forest.
I told
It's still awesome, though.
Have tried in the forest.
That's still awesome.
All right, so our fire sheet mod, because it's so awesome, right? We thought we'd share. And one of the nice things about LearnToMod is it actually lets you share the mods you make. You can just have them for yourself, or you can publish the mods so other people can see them. So this mod, we turned on publishing. We didn't put a picture. You can use that area to put a picture of your mod if you want. But we gave it a description: destroys sheet within 10 blocks of player. And you can see the code down below, but it's shareable. So anyone that's on LearnToMod can go look for a shared mod, and they can see the sheet. Huh? Yeah, you have a question?
Can you use it as a weapon?
You can do anything with computer programming. That's all I can say.
Can you kill somebody?
I don't know.
Can you kill somebody with fire sheep?
If you turned it into fire people, maybe, but this one here just was sheep. So that was a way we could share it.
What on earth?
You can just change all the sheep to people and then the fire people.
And after creating our sheep shooter wand, we wanted to make a squid launcher.
That's so awesome.
So we would use mostly the same code, just changing the name, the color, and the entity that we were projecting. And we had to add a actual JavaScript code block so we could add the squid, because squid was not one of the choices.
And you can see that right here at the bottom. We had to put a little, that particular one wasn't in there, so we put a little JavaScript right in line there. So guess what? Another video.
Hooray.
Guess what? Another video on it. It's funny, you're going to have to do the whole thing again.
Squid guns!
We noticed that the squids were actually only going directly above or below us and not really working as our sheep shooter one had.
Make them land on ground so they die.
I saw what that was a... What the heck? They look like cannonballs.
That's awesome. Hey, Dad.
Yeah, they're only going up. If you kind of move back, you can kind of see them. Yeah.
There's a giant whole cube. No, is that the cube that she made?
Yeah. Great. So searching this on the internet, we found that there's actually a bug in Minecraft's squid velocity, so squids can't be summoned horizontally. So that's why they can only go up or down, but this one doesn't really work exactly how we wanted it.
And it turns out that /summon is another command in Minecraft, so we didn't have to write a mod. We could have just typed summon squid and do the same thing.
Summon real.
So and put the velocity.
There was a demonstration about it yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was a good session, the command block session.
Just
Yeah.
Were you there?
summon and then do what you want, and then you just got it. That was easy.
So now I'm looking at this, and I'm seeing, lightning thief, big thing of lightning, and I'm seeing Harry Potter with a wand, and I'm putting them together in my mind, and I get
A lightning wand.
lightning wand. Very good.
Awesome.
So after creating some cool wands, we wanted to make a lightning wand.
Lightning exists in Minecraft already. Sometimes only when it does.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so running the mod will call the main function, which then calls the init function. In this init function, any player interact event will run the lightning function and gives the player a wand and gives that wand a name. So the lightning function will look at the player interact event. And then if that item name matches I am Zeus, which is what we named the wand, then it will send the message, you are Zeus, to the player, create a drone, move that drone forward, and then strike lightning at that location.
No, can you kill people?
Of course you can.
You can kill people.
your
People.
All right. So we can see we're typing down below. We're loading our mod, our lightning mod. Okay. Now it's going to load download some stuff. We'll see. We'll get a little wand in inventory. All it doesn't really look like a wand.
It looks like a CD.
Yeah, I know. It's not perfect.
It's raining.
Oh, I'm gonna play some music. Oh my God, it strikes lightning.
So now it's striking lightning. You'll see we'll turn to the side and it's going in front of us, but it's kind of not really directly in front of us, you know. So that's pretty fun. We get to strike some lightning around.
Excuse me.
I get to see yours, Zeus.
We've got a bow that can shoot lightning really far.
Oh. So you'll notice there I just ran them out a second time. And now it's striking 2 lightnings every time we click it. Okay, now I'm going to run it a third time. It's going to load it. Now I click and it's doing 3 lightnings every time. It's giving me 3 messages every time. All right?
Why is it doing that?
Ooh, that's a very good question. I have that answer in just a second. So in my mod chest, there was a way to clear intervals and events. So what was happening, like Audrey mentioned, every time we ran the function, it looked for a player interact event. So anytime a player does something, and it called the lightning function. So when we ran it 3 times, it was doing that 3 times. So every time we clicked a thing, it called our lightning function 3 times. And we learned this by accident as we were building the mods and then changing the code and hitting mod and trying them again. We were getting weird behavior where there was more and more lightning and we didn't know why. And it was because these multiple events were all happening. So we had to figure out how to clear that event out from the mod chest to keep that from happening. So that was just kind of another way that we weren't expecting something to work a certain way and we had to learn what was going on. Now,
I know.
I had a bunch of sheep floating in the water, probably from a pig shooter wand, maybe, who knows. We had a lot of animals all over the place. And I'm shooting my lightning, trying to kill these sheep. Pigs. Pigs, yes, exactly. I kill these pigs.
plus lightning.
And all of a sudden, now there's these other guys floating in the water. Right? By me.
So then I look over, and then he's got a bunch of zombie pigmen floating around in this water. And so I hadn't been paying attention for a few minutes, and now he's got this horde running around, and I'd be kind of freaked out.
So obviously my Minecraft training wasn't good enough. I should have learned that don't strike lightning near pigs. So now I know.
Yeah, they think it's Halloween and then they turn into zombie.
So once in a while you don't know how to do something and learn to mod. So they've got a good help document that covers all sorts of the blocks you can use, and it's kind of sectioned off by area in the modding studio. And there's the link for it. There was also a form, and a form is a way you can put questions out there and put answers to other people's questions. And on there you can, if you have questions about features or bugs, or if you want to do a coding discussion, or you need some lesson help, there's the ability to go out there and ask some questions or answer some questions. So at one point when I wasn't sure kind of where the help was for something, and I had answered a question, then one of the people said, oh, here it is, it's at this link, and I hadn't been able to find that link in the normal studio area where I was expecting to. So sometimes you get stuck. It's okay, you can ask questions, and other people that have LearnToMod will also help give you the answers. Something else I learned, because I like to figure out how stuff works, is that the LearnToMod private server actually runs some older versions of the software. It runs an older version of a Minecraft modding server. It runs an older version of Scriptcraft. Now this wasn't a problem for us at all when we were doing our Blockly mods. But if you were doing JavaScript mods, and then you were going over to the Scriptcraft website for documentation, or you were asking for other help in other areas, that might be a newer version that's installed here. So that could be confusing why something didn't work. Now they might update the version of this at some point. So it's just kind of something to be aware of if you want to use it and you want to use the program in JavaScript. If you actually want to run your own server on your own computer, there's instructions on the internet that let you do it. Here's actually a good set that I found. It's aimed at like a Seattle Coder JoJo group, so it's kind of, instructions are easy there. You can set up a local Minecraft server. It tells you how to make sure only your friends can play on it. And then it actually lets you share your Minecraft server on the internet only when you want to. So it sets up a way for you to do that. So these are pretty good and detailed instructions. So if you do actually want to run a local server and be able to program it, I would recommend kind of looking at these. So that's being an option. So let's review again what goes into a retrospective. You know, we want to be able to learn from experience, right? So the stuff that we experience, what do we learn? Build on what works. We want to gain some perspective, and then we're going to, again, decide what we would do differently if we did it again, or if you did it.
So from learning from experience, we learned that Blockly is easier to use than JavaScript because you don't have to worry about all those typing and syntax errors. It's also way faster to use, as you saw from the difference between our first mods. The code.org activities really helped because it prepared us for like the concept of LearnToMod and the Blockly and the drones. And another thing that we noticed is we forgot some of the details when we took longer breaks in between our sessions of coding. So we had to look back on a few previous batches to kind of get back into it. The Minecraft API was more difficult to learn than the loops and variables because you kind of had to understand what stuff went where. And we could change the game rules. We could actually run our mods anywhere, underwater, in the middle of the sky, wherever we want, unlike most placing Minecraft blocks, where you can't just place it in nowhere. So for building on what works, it's helpful to have a partner, or when you get stuck or if something goes wrong. LearnToMod sets up a server for you with your account, so you don't have to go through that trouble of finding one of your own. You code in the web browser, so it's pretty easy to access. And then LearnToMod also lets you code in JavaScript if you want to, not only Blockly. For gaining perspective, some things just don't work, and that's okay. One example was the order matters. There was a bug in the grading system. And then for the squid launcher, there was a bug in Minecraft's horizontal squid velocity. And there's nothing you can do about that. Another thing is you need to invest the time to learn because this isn't going to happen fast. And LearnToMod won't teach you how to make something like drag and mouse. You're going to start small with sending messages to your characters and stuff. And we ended up also getting distracted playing the game with the mods that we created. And may have ended up spending more time playing than modding. And we were quite destructive also, covering the world in lava, fire, and various animals. And finally, deciding what to do differently. Some extra and unnecessary badges felt like they were just wasting time and got boring. And these badges probably could have been skipped over. And we also should have researched more in-game commands prior to doing LearnToMod to see what we could have already done, because there are a lot of badges that there's already a command for it. And we also should have dedicated specific blocks of time to program so we didn't have those long breaks where we forgot details.
All right, thank you. Now, if you guys have any questions or want to ask us stuff, we left some time at the end to be able to have people ask questions. Either you can raise your hand and ask them now, or if you want to come and talk to us afterwards, that's fine too. Yes?
Is there a way to get your mods?
Is there a way to get your mods?
Like the mods you made?
Yeah, so...
and how to get them like after you make them?
Good question. In the studio you can see them, so you can share them there. You can also go ahead and, like, if it's a Blockly mod, remember you can view the JavaScript. So if you want, you can go in that JavaScript and you can just copy and paste it. So you can grab that mod, and then you can go, if you want to put in kind of, if you have a local server that's running Scriptcraft, you can take that mod and just put it on your local server. So that's a way to do it. Does that answer what you're thinking?
Is there a way to get yours that you made?
Oh, to get our mods. The one, we only shared the Firesheet one. We could share the other ones. We just, some of them were just based on the the coding badges. What's interesting is the difference between clients, Microsoft client, or a Minecraft client and a Minecraft server is they actually have different modding frameworks. So right now, you can't really, something that you make to run on the server doesn't really just work when you're running on the LAN or locally. And it seems like LearnToMod is going to make a way to do that, but as now they don't have one. So if you wanted the mod so you could run it in your own world, I don't know that that would actually work right now. if you wanted the code to the mod so you could run it on your own server, that can work. So why don't you come up if you want to chat after and we can figure out what's going on. All right, anyone else have any questions? Who thinks LearnToMod would be interesting to do? Like how many people? That's pretty cool. So I ended up, I had sent an email to the LearnToMod and I told them I was doing a talk on this, and just like about 2 hours ago they finally had got back to me. We had a conversation. So I've got 10 trial codes that give people 48 hours access to it. And I was trying to figure out how I could give those to people that were interested. So I don't know that I have a great system for that, but here's what I have. I've got a notebook that's got things in paper in it. If people are interested in getting one of those, I'm going to say, hey, why don't you come up, write your name down, and we'll mix them all around, and we'll pick 10, and I can hand out these codes. They're good for like 48 hours. You have to go sign up, create an account, put the code in, and use it. But if people are interested, I'll go ahead and we'll figure out a way to give those away. So right after this. So I have a notebook over here. We'll just go rip out pages, put names on it, and make a pretty simple way to do that. So it was pretty fun. I had a lot of fun, especially with Firesheet. We can just watch that video again because that's so fun. All right. Any other questions? All right. Thanks, everybody.